John Lynch.
Seriously.
1-0 to Collins. Line to right. Back Castellanos at the track. It is gone. 5 batters in. It's 5-0 Milwaukee.
Tonight, the Crew are deep in the heart of Texas, taking on the Rangers at Globe Life Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:30 on the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Good morning. 10 o'clock, we have 61 degrees. It's going to be sunny today with a high 71. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. The Marquette University community mourning the loss of 2 student athletes. 19-year-old Scott Michaud and 20-year-old Noah Snyder were killed in a car crash Friday afternoon near 27th and St. Paul in Milwaukee. Both were members of the men's lacrosse team. Scott's high school coach, Stefan Schroeder, tells our news partner TMJ4.
I kind of just dropped my phone and broke down in disbelief. You know, I just seen him a couple weeks before. You know, I told him how proud of him I was, and you know how excited I was.
Police say the driver of the other vehicle was arrested and criminal charges are pending. An Arrowhead senior finally becomes eligible for the football season.
Arrowhead High School senior Tristan Seidel is back on the football field after a judge ruled he can play while his lawsuit against the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association continues. The WIAA had ruled him ineligible to play varsity sports this season after transferring from Kettle Moraine. His family says the move was made due to a house fire in 2023. They made their rental home in Arrowhead School District their permanent residence. After missing the first 2 games, Seidel suited up Friday against Waukesha West. The ruling was just hours before kickoff. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
South Korea's foreign minister will be in the U.S. today to help bring home some 300 Korean workers arrested last week working illegally at a Hyundai plant in Georgia. The plan so far is to fly the workers, mostly employed by subcontractors, home on chartered flights. South Korea's government's expressed displeasure with the public release of the footage of the arrests while it's been trying to finalize a trade deal with the U.S. At least 30 people dead, more than 100 hurt after a Russian attack in Ukraine. ABC News national security contributor Mick Mulroy says Ukraine's Western allies must place economic pressure on Russia's trading partners to end the war.
The question right now is, will Ukraine hold out for the Russian economy to collapse? If a Russian economy collapses, then this war could be over.
The Russian attack also hit a thermal plant in Kyiv. Now part of the region will be without gas for some time. Chicago bracing for the arrival of National Guard troops. President Trump refuses to back down on his claim that they need to tamp down what he says is out-of-control crime. ABC's Selena Wang has more.
Thousands of Americans hitting the streets of Chicago and D.C., protesting against the president's threats and deployment of some 2,000 National Guard troops to the nation's capital. For weeks, the president has threatened to do the same in other Democratic-run cities and states.
Over the weekend in Chicago, 18 people were shot, 5 were killed. Oconomowoc seeing major development with the Elevate project and the transformation of Olympia Fields. The mixed-use development includes housing, retail, recreational amenities designed to draw people across the region. Editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal, Timothy Gibbons, tells WTMJ.
The former Olympia ski hill is going to be transformed basically into this multi-year destination sort of thing. So it's going to have pickleball and tennis and golf simulators and live music, not just for the residents who will be living at Elevate, but attracting people from across the region.
Gibbons says these developments highlight a trend combining residential growth and entertainment. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 73 points, NASDAQ up 167, S&P 500 up 25. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 10:04.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Fleet
Farm's turning 70, and you're invited to the party. Join us September 12th through the 14th for a shot at over $170,000 in prizes and giveaways. We'll have a different giveaway for the first 500 guests each day. Free water bottles, canned koozies, or hats. Plus, enjoy free hot dogs or snacks while you shop special anniversary deals store-wide. Don't miss our 70th celebration, September 12th through 14th at Fleet Farm. For more details, go to fleetfarm.com/anniversary.
You're not just a job number as a Sidex customer. They've been family-owned since 1988, and they treat you as part of their family. Upgrade and transform your current bathroom space with Sidex Windows Siding and Bath. They have seasoned design consultants with 10 to 30 years of experience. The owner, Joe, is honoring his dad's legacy with top-tier products and expert craftsmanship. It's Sidex, the best in the business. Get a free shower door upgrade when you mention WTMJ. Visit sidexremodel.com.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Packers open their season with the win. Green Bay beat the Detroit Lions 27-13 at Lambeau. Jordan Love completed 16 of 22 passes for 188 yards and 2 touchdowns in the victory. Josh Jacobs rushed for 66 yards and a touchdown, his franchise record 9th straight game with a score. And Micah Parsons had a sack in his Green Bay debut. Packers now 1-0 as they prepare to face the Commanders Thursday at home. Brewers picked up a road sweep. Milwaukee beat the Pirates 10-2 in their series finale. Brewers continue their road trip tonight against the Texas Rangers. And the Badgers beat Middle Tennessee 42-10 at Camp Randall. Wisconsin will play its first road game of the season Saturday against number 18 Alabama after handling Middle Tennessee 42-10. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. And I-43 south at the ramp from 9th. The right shoulder there is blocked due to a crash. The right lane is closed due to a crash on I-43 north at the ramp from Highway 145, Fond du Lac Avenue. There was an earlier crash. This is going to be I-41 south. Beyond the ramp from north, the left shoulder was blocked. It looks like that has been cleared off. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny and 71 today, partly cloudy overnight with lows 54 lakeside, 50 inland. Increasing cloudiness on Tuesday, then rain overnight, possibly with a high of 74. Wednesday, partly cloudy and 75. Thursday and Friday, sunshine with highs in the upper 70s. 60 in Madison's, 57 in Green Bay, and 61 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
And good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Victory Monday. We'll get to that later in the show. Because I could literally do sports all day, but I'm not going to. Because we got Matt Smith, political director. Kristin Brey, of course, alongside, as always. Only day of work this week.
I know.
For the young.
Are you going to miss me?
I will. I always miss you. You know that.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you do half the work. Sometimes more than half.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Let's be completely honest. Sometimes way more. All right, Matt Smith, political director, Channel 12. Always lots of things to talk about, but let's start with MPS. Yeah. Kids are back to school. You had the opportunity to sit down with the superintendent of MPS, Brenda Casilius. What was on her mind? What was she talking about? What were you asking her about?
Listen, I mean, there's a lot of challenges for the state's largest school district, right? And she appears to be pretty clear-eyed about those challenges. As we've seen since she started in March, this will be her first full school year. She's kind of trying to take them head on, right? Like, yeah, we really have low scores. We had the lead crisis. We had the financial crisis, on and on and on. It seems a bit exhausting, right? But at least publicly, she appears like, you know what, we're gonna check these off our list and we're gonna keep chugging forward. We got a lot of work to do, but here's how we're gonna do it.
Publicly, she seems, we have yet to interview her. She seems to not be dodging the media. Like, she seems to be very upfront and wanting to have the conversations and be honest about the challenges and not hiding from scrutiny as over what those challenges are.
She did 9 listening sessions ahead of this school year, invited anyone in the public to come out to attend. She took questions from reporters, took questions from the public. So she has been out there in her first few months on the job.
If I asked you this question, is she a breath of fresh air for all of us who watch MPS? I don't have kids in MPS, but I have a brother who teaches in MPS. Is she a breath of fresh air to the community when it comes to Milwaukee Public Schools?
I think people are saying yes. I think time will tell, right, if we see results in terms of what she is saying. Are there actions behind the words? But I think there's a lot in the community who feel like this is a good step in the right direction to kind of get MPS back on solid ground, or attempt to.
So in the attempt to get MPS back on solid ground, it sounds like, at least in your interview with her, that there's potentially a need for even more money.
Yeah.
And this is after, what was it, $250 million referenda last year?
That was a big controversial.
2024, early 2024.
That sparked a lot of controversy.
Yeah. And then obviously not even months after that was when everything blew up as far as deadlines and Posley and everything. But now she's saying the district could have another $100 million structural imbalance as soon as next year.
Yeah.
So what is that from, what do you mean, what does she mean by structural imbalance?
So I think essentially a deficit, right? Like they're going to be, in order to keep funding at the levels they are funding as we sit here today, they're going to be $100 million short.
We have some audio of that,
yes,
right?
we do.
Let's listen to that.
Do you see a scenario where you would want to go or ask for another referendum in the near future?
Well, not anytime soon, but this one will run out in about 2 years. And so obviously, if there's no additional state aid coming in, that would either mean, pretty drastic cuts to the district or raising of revenue somehow to be able to continue to provide the same level of service we're providing today. But I'm sure parents are tightening their own belts, and so we'll be tightening our belts as well as we face what might be up to $100 million structural imbalance that we think we might have next year as we begin to look at the budget for the upcoming school year.
And before everyone jumps down her throat and says, oh, this is classic MPS, you're just wasting money, there are issues with MPS. But there's tons of school districts across the state who also are saying they are going to have or have already put forward operational referendums. It's not unique to MPS. So I think the cool thing that I like about what she's saying is she's recognized a problem 2 years out. That's a good leader. That's someone who's actually assessing the situation, doing her homework, filling in all the pieces she doesn't know because she's new here, and saying, okay, so what do we have to do? There's going to have to be belt tightening. She said that in the interview. I think for those of us who look critically at MPS, that's why I asked the breath of fresh air question. I think it's a fresh perspective on what we're doing here. It's still the largest school district in the state, and I think for all of us who watch that, all the issues they've dealt with, I think some of them self-created, especially the accounting stuff. I mean, they didn't do a good job. I think it's something that we should at least note there's progress being made. And that's my takeaway from what I hear from her.
Well, you also asked her about her relationship with Republicans in the state legislature, which was encouraging.
State lawmakers talk a lot about MPS and have a lot of thoughts about MPS. Mm-hmm. Have you met with any Republican leaders yet in your time?
I have met with the Republican leadership.
How have those conversations gone?
They've gone really well. Obviously, I think they'll want to see some demonstrated results out of MPS, but they've been open and friendly, and I think that they want to see change at MPS too, and I think that they're interested in seeing us grow.
Another great answer from the superintendent of Milwaukee Public Schools, Brenda Casilius. And we haven't had her on the show, but we need to correct that. We need to get her on the show.
Get her on.
As soon as possible. After you come back from your well-deserved time off. Matt Smith, political director at Channel 12, host of Upfront, great show on politics, available across the state of Wisconsin. It is one of the best shows that looks at all things that are happening in our states. After the break, another often talked about topic, police, contracts, and crime in Milwaukee. We get to all that with Matt Smith and Kristin and Steve on a Monday edition of Point Taken right here on 620 WTMJ.
All different types of injury lawyers advertise. Cartoon lawyers, bobblehead lawyers, and folks chasing ambulances with text messages. Our clients don't want or need such lawyers. Our clients know, like, and trust that Pasternak and Zergabel will help in their time of need. I'm Jeff Zergabel of Pasternak and Zergabel. Frank Pasternak and I are excellent personal injury lawyers in our community. If you need help after an injury, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
I believe in aliens, ghosts, and UFOs, but I don't believe Hasselus Mattress is employee-free.
It's true. Give our mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
Do these mattresses come from Area 51?
We're talking big names like Sealy Posturepedic and Beautyrest.
Who's supporting you? The Illuminati?
If you need support, through Monday, get a free adjustable base with any new mattress.
That's what the lizard people told you to say.
Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
The Census Bureau says more than 12,000 Americans turn 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. Some Annex clients retire early. Some keep working because they love it. You know why? Because they've got custom plans built by fee-only fiduciaries. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work. We want to do the same for you. Annex does financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Stay up to date on all your Brewers talk right here.
I don't think that Pat Murphy operates that way. I think he wants to keep that pedal to the metal the entire time, because as soon as they take their foot off of someone's throat, that person's going to get up. The Brewers do not want that. The Brewers want to continue to bludgeon people.
Brewers playoff coverage on 94.5 ESPN is presented by Neurospine Center of Wisconsin and also sponsored by Annex Wealth Management, Boucher Automotive, and Delta Dental.
Matt Smith, our guest, that is every Monday here on 620 WTMJ. Point taking, Kristin, Brey, Scaffidi. You can always find us on our podcast page at WTMJ.com or wherever you get your podcast. Lots of people not only do that, because you can't always listen to the full 2 hours, although I do require it as part of the contract between Kristin and I and our audience. So you are violating the contract, but I make an allowance. You can go re-listen to it. It's sort of like doing homework after you took the test. Yeah.
What?
Never mind. Anyway, Matt Smith joins us. You go to the podcast after we've already done it. That's what I'm saying.
I know, but okay.
Homework after the test is kind of worthless. You already took the test.
But it's not worthless, though, because they're still listening to the show.
I know. It was a bad analogy.
Yeah, you can do better.
I can do better. We can always do better, can't we? Like Matt Smith. He's always doing better.
It's all right.
Host of Up Fronts. All right, so let's shift. I love the fact that we're focusing on some of the local stuff, because frankly, we don't do it enough. We do it on Thursdays with Jeremy Janine. But all right, Milwaukee. It's all over talk radio. The contract.
Of course it is.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, exactly right. The contract that never gets completed, the one that is 3 years now running. Alex Aiella, the Milwaukee Police Association president, former MPS detective, he made some comments that raised some eyebrows, especially with the mayor. I know we have some comments from both of them. But, it involves the National Guard.
Yeah.
At this point, though, you would welcome National Guard here in Milwaukee?
I would. Otherwise, how do we control incidents like they happened last weekend or a few months ago when they happened at downtown in the Code Red area in the business district? I mean, you have all these incidents that are out of control. We don't have the staffing for it. I'm sure that the National Guard would do a great job in helping us out.
What would they do, ideally?
You can put up some security checkpoints. You have them walking around. They're visible. I mean, you see a man in uniform and a woman in uniform, you're going to probably not do something.
So what day did you talk to him last week? Because I know he was kind of doing the rounds last week.
Yeah, so that was kind of at the beginning of last week.
Okay.
As kind of all of this developed and all this talk we saw play out this past weekend, or not play out this past weekend, I guess, in Chicago and the administration. And he has kind of been one of the first to come out and say, yeah, let's bring troops into Milwaukee.
So then you talked to Mayor Cavalier Johnson as far as his reaction to this.
I did see the MPA president saying that he would welcome the National Guard to Milwaukee, which I thought was pretty peculiar and pretty infuriating at the same time. Why do I say that? I say because in my office just a few months ago, he came and he sat down and he was with a bunch of folks and he was asking me, and they were asking me what we could do in order to make sure that ICE and immigration were not clamping down on people at Mexican Fiesta. So I don't understand why he's interested in bringing in federal troops now, bringing in the federal government now, when he was against it just before.
So that is, could you kind of lay the environment that we're in right now? Because Alex Aiella came out, said this, but this is also with the backdrop of contract negotiations.
A major contract dispute.
Yeah. I don't know what the relationship is between him and Police Chief Norman. So is there more chess being played than just, we need more help?
Yeah, possibly, right?
Possibly, okay.
I mean, so we're in the midst of, or we're close now going to arbitration, right, between the city and the police union over contracts and salary and pay and how much of a raise police officers should get. So that's gotten heated, right, behind the scenes. I don't think they're necessarily friends at this point in terms of trying to negotiate this contract. So then you add in this layer of Trump suggesting that we send National Guard troops to U.S. cities where there are crime problems. And that kind of plays into this whole equation. As we sit here today, we watch Chicago, we watch Baltimore, we watch Boston, wherever this may be playing out in a city next.
To me, it's a demonstration of, one, the frustration of having done this now for 3 years and not getting anywhere. And I do think it's going to go to arbitration. Who wins? I have no idea.
Right.
But I think there's an absolute frustration by the members of the Milwaukee Police Department, rank and file, who say this is nuts that we're in this situation, because what happens, they're going to sign a contract, sign a deal, and then they have to go right back into negotiations for the next contract.
Yeah. And the incidents he was referencing were the street takeovers last weekend, and saying, listen, we literally have one or two squads at these because that's all we can afford. Yeah. And then if we're pulling more, we're pulling them from other districts who then do not have a police presence at a given time.
When I last talked to a member of the Milwaukee Police Department, they told me, and I talked to both a retired member and one that's current, they both said the same thing. They're frustrated. They can see that people just leaving. They're retiring. They're going off to other communities because everybody's sucking from Milwaukee, because they can probably make more money or close to the same amount of money, less hassle, less grief. That's a drain on this on the resources of the Milwaukee Police Department. And last time I checked, we need an active, fully recruited police department in the city that's dealing with these issues. And I don't know the easy answer to this, but having a contract dispute is not one of those.
Because on the flip side, correct me if I'm wrong, we already spend a lot of money on police as far as like what is the percentage
in terms of the budget. I don't know the exact percentage, but it's high. And the mayor says
it's higher than most
And
cities.
the mayor says he's going to be proposing same levels, if not higher, just in terms of getting recruitment classes through and the 65 and so forth and so on. But yeah, I mean, it is an incredibly sizable portion of the city's budget, public safety.
So this could also come back to the money that at the state level that doesn't necessarily always flow back to the cities.
Yeah.
It's other cities who are also struggling with like police and public safety is a huge part of the budget in all these cities that are already strapped for money.
And keep in mind, Milwaukee also has these new requirements with the shared revenue law, just in terms of specific number of officers that they need to maintain.
Anybody that really looked at the Act 12 stuff knew that it was a Band-Aid. It's not going to help long term. All of these things have to be revisited constantly because the cost of government goes up, just like the cost of our personal budgets keeps going up.
We just talked about MPS. I don't think the city of Milwaukee's budget is going to be any rosy scenario either when those projections come out.
No, we had like 1 year of seashells and balloons when everything was good because we got the Act 12 passed, and then all of a sudden we're in dire straits again. And this kind of stuff doesn't help. That being said, I don't think it's a great idea for the mayor of the city of Milwaukee, and I'm sort of friendly with Mayor Johnson, to be in an adversarial relationship with the representative of the Milwaukee Police Department, because I don't think he's got that same relationship with the chief. So you might want to start figuring that stuff out. Angry police is not a good remedy for what ails us when it comes to policing in Milwaukee. And you got to figure that stuff out. Challenge for the mayor. One of his, I think, early challenges in still a young tenure as mayor. He's got to figure this stuff out. And man, like I said, everybody's sort of glossing over the fact that this thing is going back. They have to go forward on the next deal. How messy is that going to be in a time where we can't even recruit in Milwaukee? Lots more to talk about with Matt Smith. Final segment with him after this on 620 WTMJ.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back September 9th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Texas Rangers.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in September 9th at 7:05 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Advent. Snoring, you're just tossing and turning. Restless nights of sleep does not have to be your reality. It's no longer mine. 5 years ago now, actually more than 5 years ago, I did something about it. I walked into Advent as a patient, not a spokesperson, as a patient. And I said, all right, my snoring is keeping my wife, Kathy, up. They answered all my questions. They put me at ease. We'd added a really simple sleep study at home in my own bed. They determined my problems, sinuses and nasal passages in my breathing triangle. Short procedure, less than a half hour. Breathing better than ever since that moment. sleeping through the whole night. Again, last night, 7 hours uninterrupted. That should be your goal. And if you struggle like I used to, take the time to see how Advent can help you. To find out breathing well and sleeping well, both are important, can make your nights better. Go to adventknows.com and schedule an appointment today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Come catch the final battle of the regular season when the Brewers host the Reds Friday, September 26th through Sunday, September 28th. We're celebrating the best fans in the game on Saturday, the 27th at Fan Appreciation Night, presented by Toyota. Plus, if you're one of the first 30,000 fans through the gates, you'll take home a Brewers Tumbler giveaway too, presented by Quick Trip. Come close out the regular season with the crew. Get your seats today at brewers.com/tickets.
A few more minutes remaining with Matt Smith. He is the outstanding political director at Channel 12 in Milwaukee. Also hosts Up Front with Jaron Jordan. Available across the states. When is your actual broadcast time so people can find it?
Sunday, WISN 12 at 9 a.m. And then if you're a late night owl, it re-airs at 11 p.m.
And you can always find it online.
Yeah, YouTube, streaming, subscribe to the
I'm
YouTube
a 9
channel.
a.m. I'm not an 11 p.m.
You're not an 11 p.m. guy?
Knows. I'm well sleeping
I'm
by
more
then.
9 a.m. than 11 p.m. as well, typically.
All right, this story didn't get a ton of attention. But I thought it was significant, and we briefly mentioned it when was that?
We mentioned it with Jeremy last week.
Yeah.
We have somehow lured the former head of the Smithsonian National Portrait Gallery, of which I'm a mega fan. I've been there at least a dozen times.
Yeah.
It's an amazing collection of portraits and art of our country's history. Well, Kim Saget?
Say it.
Saget?
Say it.
All right.
Say it. Say it correctly.
I'm sorry, Kim. But she is now leading the Milwaukee Art Museum. That's a good get, right?
Yeah.
Seems like a good get.
Yeah,
I mean, as far
a lot
as
in the
just,
art world think it's incredible.
How did that not get more attention?
I don't know, the big news cycle.
I
But
guess.
she did a lot of press last week, and you guys got a chance to sit down with her, right?
Yeah, and kind of the backstory, just real quick, is she left the Smithsonian after President Trump threatened to fire her.
Yeah.
As you probably know, the President of the United States felt that I was leaning too much into diversity and opening the doors to, access and inclusion. So it was an interesting time. I decided to step away because no one institution should be focused on a single individual. And it just made sense that if I remove myself from that picture, the institution, both the Portrait Gallery and the Smithsonian, could maybe move on from the spotlight that was suddenly put upon it because of me.
She's not wrong. One person, she is one person. I think just from the incredible amount of work required to run something like a Smithsonian, to have that sort of A-plus talent come here.
Absolutely.
That's pretty incredible.
And she said she had a lot of options from larger cities.
Do we know why Milwaukee?
She said she chose Milwaukee because in some aspects she has more flexibility. Larger cities, larger art institutions, these are my words, perhaps a little more rigid in terms of what you can do and what you can bring in. She loved Milwaukee. She loved the art museum, and I think the opportunity that she can bring. She has a lot of people she's close with at the Institute of Art in Chicago. Which is close. So I think the flexibility and perhaps the creativity it's going to allow her.
So basically it's like, well, people are going to be looking to me as having this much experience and kind of letting me run the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might
Right?
be it.
As far as
And
versus
she seemed
other places,
excited.
maybe
Yeah.
they're like, well, we know what we're doing. You have to
Yes.
fit into our
And you're gonna
guidelines
do
and how
ABC.
we
Yes.
do it.
Yes. Very. Yes. Yeah.
One of the big challenges is raising money always for an art museum. And I'm sure that's probably part of her story at the Smithsonian. I would guess that's going to be one of her tasks.
Yeah, and she in our interview she did with Nick Bohr, she talked about how she boosted attendance during her tenure there at the Portrait Gallery. So I think she's bringing a lot of experience. How much the politics will play into this, I think, will be fascinating. If that attracts or detracts people, or if that's just kind of a side note and a footnote and no longer becomes relevant. We'll have to see.
Very exciting.
All right, just me and you next week because Kristin will be off.
Oh boy,
yeah.
What are we gonna do?
Good luck.
It won't be as good. But we'll
Sorry,
make.
I'm leaving you.
Who's gonna rein him in?
You.
Is that my
This
job?
is your job.
Job. Matt Smith, political director at Channel 12. Thanks, as always, for coming in. Lots more to talk about coming up after the break. This is one that you and I have sort of been skirting for a while, and I think we need to talk about it. The impact of this economy that we're in right now on farmers, on just regular old folks out there who are going through some interesting times. Lots to talk about. ABC News is coming up next right here on 620 WTMJ.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A federal appeals court has ruled that President Trump must pay writer E. Jean Carroll more than $83 million in damages he was ordered to pay for defaming her when he denied her claims of sexually assaulting her in a department store dressing room. The appellate court ruling Trump was not entitled to presidential immunity and denied the jury's damages were excessive. Chicago still bracing for the arrival of federal troops. ABC's Alex Stone's there.
The question here is, what is the president looking at doing? He's talking about cleaning up crime in the streets with the military, but he's also talking about immigration enforcement. So there's a lot of confusion. It's really, even from the leadership, they don't know what the president is planning on doing. They don't know what the timing is on what this would be. Would it be the federal agents? Would it be the military? Is it going to be today? Will it be ever? Is it going to be in 3 weeks? They don't know either.
A Palestinian attack on a bus stop in Jerusalem, leaving 6 dead, wounding at least a dozen more. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time 10:31. I'm Connie Weber. A salmonella outbreak in meals from a home delivery service. At least 16 people are sick, including one person in Wisconsin after consuming a metabolic meals product delivered in late July. 4 varieties, including some chicken and sirloin meals, are linked to the outbreak. The affected products have best buy dates between August 5th and 8th. A new legal filing claims a 15-year-old at Milwaukee County's Vel R. Phillips Juvenile Justice Center lost the tip of his finger when a guard slammed a door on his hand. Journal Sentinel reports the claim alleges the guard used excessive force during the incident back in April. Teen was hospitalized and remains in custody. The filing, typically the precursor to a lawsuit, names Milwaukee County, the courts, and the sheriff's office as liable. Country music legend and multi-platinum recording artist Garth Brooks will open Summerfest next year. A kickoff concert will happen Wednesday, June 17th at the American Family Insurance Amphitheater. This marks Brooks' first ever performance at Summerfest and his first show in Milwaukee in over a decade. Next year's festival will continue to follow the 3-day weekend format adopted in 2021. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 85 points, 45,486. NASDAQ up 177 at 21,877. S&P 500 up 26 points at 6,507. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I-41 north at the ramp from Watertown Plank Road West. Right shoulder there was blocked due to a crash. It looks like that has been cleared off. And 43 north at the ramp from Highway 145. Right lane again was closed due to a crash, but that also has been cleared. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny and 71 today. Partly cloudy overnight with lows in the lower to mid-50s. Mostly sunny, increasing cloudiness Tuesday, then overnight rain possible. A high 74. Partly cloudy and 75 Wednesday. Thursday and Friday we have sunshine. High Thursday 76. Friday's high up to 78. 60 in Madison, 57 in Green Bay, 61 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time 1033.
Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, yeah, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handle all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service. In just 2 days, my roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit loyalfamilyrenovations.com.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities. I recently moved my dad into a Capri community.
My dad has really blossomed since moving to Capri and has gained new independence. His falls have decreased, he's eating healthy meals, and going on new adventures. Knowing Dad is in a great place takes my worries away, and now we're both enjoying life again.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities.
Oh boy, it's getting so expensive to dine out, but not at the Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The Mind Chef is family-owned, understands inflation hurts. Every Monday when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza absolutely free. Any size, any quantity. You buy one, get one free. Buy two, get two free. Buy 10 pizzas, get 10 free pizzas. Business owners, managers, bring in pizza for your hardworking employees and your key clients. They're going to love it because it's delicious pizza and your second pizza's free, saving your company a ton of money. Bring your family in today for free pizza. Your kids will love that world-class game room. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and near EAA in Oshkosh, just off the interstate. Lots of seating, lots of close parking. No need to cook. Don't think about cleaning today. Mondays can be tough enough. Buy one pizza, get one free at the Mine Shaft. Plenty to take home for tomorrow. Desserts, and I love their desserts, are also buy one, get one free. Just walk in today for your free Monday pizza, MineshaftRestaurant.com.
Thanks for joining us on this Monday, Victory Monday, as they say. We'll get to that later. Putting my frustration with season ticket holders. I used to berate them, and I'm going to save some berating for later in the show.
You and Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, Coach. Thanks for the coach for weighing in as well. Anyway, this is something that is critically important. And last time I checked, on our license plate, it still says America's Dairyland, and we have a lot of farmers, farm families. We spent some great time at the Wisconsin State Fair. I talked to some of those growers and the dairy folks, and they're just hardworking, great people. And a lot of us who are sort of talking about the news of the day have at least started to understand there's some pain out there. And the question is the economy, and we'll get to Dave Spano in the 11 o'clock hour, because there's some real stuff, real question marks about what's going on, and I'm curious to hear what Dave has to say about that. But we were sharing some stories, mainly you were sharing with me, about farmers now asking the President of the United States, Donald Trump, for help. We know, just from doing some background research and talking to some folks away from the show, that the costs of doing business as a farmer are rapidly growing, increasing very fast. They need help in this, what is now a farm economy crisis. And I'm not sure that either the President of the United States or Congress or any agency that's tasked with helping farmers understands how dire this is. It's a tough time for farmers.
Well, it sounds specifically tough in Arkansas. So
Yes.
I came across this video, and I hadn't seen a lot of coverage on this, but I saw a video on social media over the weekend with farmers who gathered in Arkansas to share. It was with staffers from different congressional delegation of Arkansas congressmen, and they were specifically asking the state's representatives on Capitol Hill and the governor to convince the president to provide emergency aid to get them through next year. So this is some of the farmers who were speaking at that event.
I've never been as worried as I am now about whether or not my kids and grandkids will be able to carry on.
He said, I love you, Mr. Trump. I need to see the fruit of your love.
5 of my customers have committed. That's how serious that this is.
And what it costs for us to farm is astronomical now.
I farm with paid-for equipment. All my tractors are 50 years old, and I can't hardly make this deal work. I think the tariffs are the ice cream on the cake of a perfect storm.
After a horrible year last year where most farmers in Arkansas Delta lost money, this year's going to be worse.
We made a decision to go out this year in the spring. So my son will not be the seventh generation on our farm.
We're going to lose 25 or 30% of the farmers in this country if they don't do something. It has to be done, and it's not just here. It's everywhere.
So specifically in Arkansas, basically everything that has gone wrong went wrong. And so including some weather events that have, like the rice yields and stuff like that has been really down. But I don't know how much this is specific to Arkansas. It seems like some of the stuff with tariffs and the cost of farming would be across the board, regardless of what the weather has been like.
Energy costs, fertilizer costs, shaky markets, cyclical nature of that. We understand that. we already know that because we talked to Brian Reisiger many times about this. I did it on my show, and you and I have certainly done it. People getting out of the family farm business. So there are a lot of people who that's their world. They have generations of their family members, many of them have passed, who sort of set them up for future success as farmers in a state that we are still very dependent on that group of people. I'd love to hear from Wisconsin farmers, Illinois farmers, anyone that gets this broadcast or online, like what you're feeling today, because you and I were talking as part of the research that much of the safety net for farmers that was sort of included in the big, beautiful bill to get passage doesn't happen for like a year plus. It's like out of ways. Well, that's the difference between surviving as a farmer and going bankrupt. And that unfortunately has been a common refrain among small farmers. They go bankrupt. And that ruins families, leading to a lot of other serious problems. And oh, by the way, then what do you do with those folks? What life do they have other than selling their property? And sometimes even that, good luck selling that property, unless you're next to a big city. So I'd love to hear from you, 855-616-1620. What's the experience you're feeling? I got a couple of people just starting to weigh in, but I think for me, I've understood for a long time the farmers in this state, individually, they're very open to talking about their problems, but they're not going on radio stations and talking about their problems. They're not good lobbyists for their own industry in some cases. There are some good ones.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But
I thought you meant the mental health toll, because that's a whole other topic as far as like suicide and the conversations as far as the pride that goes into your farm and the inability and isolation that goes into when things start to go wrong. So that's different than the lobbying side and the messenger.
There are some good folks on the lobbying side, but I don't know that they're necessarily working on behalf of the small farmers. And that's what I'd love to hear from 855-616-1620. This is sort of one of those taking the temperature. I need to know more about what's happened in the state of Wisconsin, because this is an Arkansas story. Different conditions, obviously. Every state's different. But I've heard some things about Wisconsin farmers, and obviously Brian's a great source as well, that we are sort of in this, not a holding pattern, but this tenuous situation where we get some bad weather, things don't work on the markets aren't working for them, their prices. We could be in some serious trouble. So I'd love to hear from you. Lots more to talk about on the program today as well. Point taken. Kristin, Steve, Monday edition right here on 620 WTMJ.
Defy dry skin for free at Merle Norman. Just purchase 2 or more items and receive 4 skincare favorites for hydrating face and hands. Your gift with purchase features trial size anti-aging complex serum and eye cream, ultra rich hand cream, and gentle polish. Offer available while supplies last at Merle Norman Cosmetics and Salon at Brookfield Square. Gift is free with the purchase of 2 or more Merle Norman cosmetic products. Cosmetic accessories not included. Offer valid while supplies last at participating Merle Norman Cosmetic Studios only. Limit 1 per customer. We reserve the right to modify the gift if needed. Promotion not available at merlenorman.com.
I've always believed that great service makes all the difference. At Waterstone Bank, it's more than just banking. It's personal. When I needed help choosing an account, my banker took the time to understand my needs and guided me through my options. Thanks to her advice, I can watch my money grow, knowing it's secure.
Welcome to your Waterstone Bank, where community and personal service come together. Member FDIC.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hassleus.
I believe in aliens, ghosts, and UFOs, but I don't believe you.
Huh?
I'm convinced the Earth is flat and the moon landing was faked.
Okay.
When you say Hassleus Hassellus Mattress don't have no employees? Well, that's just crazy talk.
It's true. Hassellus Mattress showrooms are employee-free. Give our mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
Okay, sure. You probably think birds are real, too.
All I know is that our 35 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393. Free next-day delivery, too.
Do these mattresses come from Area 51?
We're talking big names like Sealy Posturepedic and Beautyrest.
And who's supporting your operation? The Illuminati?
If you need support, through Monday, get a free adjustable base with any new mattress.
That's what the lizard people told you to say.
Save on Beautyrest, Sealy Posturepedic, and more, and get a free adjustable base through Monday at Hassellus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at hassellus.com.
Start your journey now. Don't wait. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Schedule your free consultation to lose up to 1 pound of fat per day. No drugs, no injections, no exercise. It's safe, fast, and costs a fraction of those injections. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Farmers feeling the pain across the country. We're asking the question, what does it feel like in Wisconsin? Joining us on the phone line, Bob from Hussiford, Wisconsin. Hey, Bob.
Hi.
How are you? So, you're a local farmer in Wisconsin?
Yes, sir.
All right. So tell me, real life, real time, your experience, some of the things we talked about, rising prices of fertilizer and some of the costs of doing business, market prices. What are you experiencing right now?
Well, the prices for fertilizer and all the inputs for our crops just seems to keep going up. Prices for the finished product right now, corn and beans, is extremely low. We deal with a lot of rented land that, people think is worth more than it is, and, that we can make a profit on. And we also do beef, so we're buying baby calves and finishing them out, and the price of the baby calves is just ridiculous right now. So you have all that interest that you're paying on that cattle for, 16 months before they go to market.
What would you say the biggest challenge, you talked about costs. What's the biggest challenge? What has changed in, let's say, the last few years? What, in your mind, doing it every day, what has changed the most? Just the cost of doing it, or what else?
Yeah, the costs and repair bills, the price of parts, the price of labor to repair things. We're trying to bring the next generation in. We farm with both sets of parents, my wife and I do, and we're trying to bring the next generation in and trying to figure out how we can, generate enough money to continue this on that the next generation can take over.
So, Bob, when you think about the policies that are in place and the lawmakers, both at the state level, at the federal level, the presidency, what do you feel like could make a difference if they were to focus on that for farmers like you?
Boy, if I had those answers, I'd be doing something different than I'm doing right now. And I don't know if the president himself can do anything about it. It's just, we grew up working, minimum 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And, it's not that we're complaining about that. We just would be nice to be able to afford some better equipment and like I said, bring the next generation and be able to pay the next generation comparable wages to what, they can make off the farm.
I often talk about the license plate. It says America's Dairyland, and that's part of our identity here in Wisconsin. And farms, small farms, have been such a big part of our story throughout our history since 1848, and actually earlier than that. As somebody who's done this for a living, tell us, in your words, what being a small farmer means, because I think it's really important. I love when we go to the state fair and we talk to farmers and the dairy folks. We walk around and have those conversations. And I always say the wisdom of farmers is something that we should tap into a lot more, because they know how to do everything because they have to. And they work every day when most of us work 5 days. So speak to that a little bit, the legacy and the importance of small farmers in the state.
Well, I think our own experience is it's been, I would not change it for the world because of the way we raised our children. And our children are all very successful in whatever they do. because they were raised with the work ethic. They knew if something needed to be done on this day, we got to get that done before we can say go away to, something else, a friend's birthday party or whatever. The work had to be done first. And that's something that I think is missing today. And the other thing is we're a small farm. We know what we do. We try to provide a top quality product in the beef that we sell. And, we take great pride in taking great care of our animals. I like to think we treat our animals better than some people treat other people.
I think you're right on that. Bob, I wish you luck. I admire and appreciate all of our farmers in the state of Wisconsin, from dairy to cattle to everything else. You work so hard, and I actually hunt, with some farmers from the state of Wisconsin, and I just appreciate the work you do. I hope that everybody understands why the farming sector of our economy is so important, and I hope we're not talking a year from now from even the worst conditions. But I thank you for taking the time to join us.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the job that you do. All
right. Thank you, Bob. I love the fact that Bob took the time to call
absolutely.
in. I should have probably asked him about tariffs, but I didn't want to make it a political conversation per se, although it is, because all of that stuff matters. And there is a huge, huge warning sign, and we can ask Dave Spano about this as well. There's huge warning signs about what might happen in the economy, not just for farmers. You and I were talking, I know we got to get to break, I had the highest
jobs report, unemployment's higher. There's a lot of things right now that I know you guys are not doom and gloom.
No.
You're like, you're not a doom and gloom guy. Brian Jacobson's not a doom and gloom guy.
Right.
Doom and gloom guy, and neither is Dave Spano. But there's a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
Like if you kind of survey people in your life, people on the internet, of jobs reports. Like I had a friend who's a recruiter. I mean, she works nationally, but she lives in Milwaukee, and she had a video of hers go viral this weekend because she didn't even know people were sharing it. But she had posted a job for a data scientist, which obviously we're on the different scale from farmers right now. But data scientist job, you go and you have at least a bachelor's degree in. And she goes, I woke up the next day. It hadn't even been 24 hours since she posted the job. Over 600 applicants, and she said all of them were qualified. She's like, I've never seen anything like this as far as where we're at right now, as far like what jobs are available and how many people are looking for those types of jobs that they are qualified for. And it's just, and yet the market is the market.
Yeah, so I'm glad you put this on the lineup today, because I don't think it's getting, especially the farm piece of this, is getting the attention it deserves. And the tariff thing is interesting because it's impacted the markets that we as producers in this country where we sell, and we start playing games with that stuff by someone who I think, and this is my opinion, has sort of insufficient knowledge base to understand the impact of tariffs long term and the impact it has on small farmers. That's my fear. And boy, you do not want to mess up the Wisconsin economy because we have farmers just losing everything they have because of poor policy and poor decision making. So thanks to Bob for joining us. I appreciate him taking the time to do that. We'll wrap up the 10 o'clock hour. Lots more to get to on the program. Point taken, Kristin Steve, 620 WTMJ.
Hey, WTMJ's John Burke here next December 2026. My wife Michelle and I are taking a Christmas trip that's been on our bucket list for more than a decade. Won't you come with us? Christmas on the Danube with Colette Tours. Beautiful river cruise to the most famous Christmas markets in Europe. December 2026, and a 2-night pre-trip extension to Prague. 6 nights on the beautiful MS Amadeus riverboat. 68 cabins, each with a great view. Stunning deck cafe, panorama bar. Will be in Vienna, the medieval castle and hillside towns of the Wachau Valley, a 200-year-old fairy tale town of Passau, Germany. John at WTMJ.com, JOHN at WTMJ.com. Send me an email. I send you the beautiful information, including pricing. Or join me at the WTMJ studios, where you can meet me and the folks from Colette on September 23rd at 6:30, downtown our studio, but you need to RSVP.
Let me show you the world. Come away with me.
John at WTMJ.com. Send me an email. I send you the info.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One Collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One Collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush-mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, "Wherever you go, my heart goes with you."
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
There's a problem if your lawyer is famous for one phone call and a quick settlement. It weakens your position in a negotiation. Another problem is due diligence. That's what trial lawyers conduct when preparing a case. Things like lost wages, lifetime medical costs, and other variables that can't be considered in a quick settlement. In fact, one call and a quick settlement is exactly what the other side wants. Instead, call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service. Visit Habish.com to find out more.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at ACCUNET.com. Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Dimension Design, Build, Remodel, and Capital Heating and Cooling. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Going back to our last conversation, I just noticed something you had highlighted in our outline that the number of small business bankruptcies surged to a 5-year high. That's not a positive. Now, again, I'm not a doom and gloomer. I think most people are doing okay, but there's question marks, and that's what we're going to talk to Dave Spano about in the next hour. The jobs report was horrible. They revised the last one. That was horrible. Now, of course, now we can't trust them because, the last person that led it, the BLS, was fired. Like a lot of people end up being fired in this current administration. Inflation, what that number looks like, and, of course, all things financial planning with Dave Spano in the next hour. Start the 11 o'clock hour. Real quick, if you miss any or all of the show, always easy to find at WTMJ.com. Great resource. All of our podcasts, both the show, Point Taken, all the shows for that matter. And you need to listen, we just fired up a new episode last week, which is fun. Shrekking, which I didn't know anything about until you told me about it.
I also had on our video that we posted as the clip from that, I had a local news anchor comment on the video saying that she's been Shreked.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because in the clip it explains what Shrekking is, and so
I did notice that one of the local stations did a story on it after our podcast.
Oh, really?
Yes, I did notice that.
All right. Well, if you want to listen to that episode, text "listen." If you want to listen to Point Taken 5 days a week, text "point" both to 855-616-1620. We still got an hour left of today's show.
And your work week.
My only show this week. So stay with us. News is next.
There's a lot of noise coming out of Washington these days, but one thing retirees in Wisconsin can't afford to ignore is the new Big Beautiful Bill. Sounds harmless, right? But here's the truth. The changes buried in this bill could have a serious impact on your retirement. At Drake & Associates, we've dug into the details, and we want to make sure you know what's really at stake. The Big Beautiful Bill includes sweeping updates to tax brackets, Social Security thresholds, Medicare premiums, and retirement account rules. And for many retirees, it could mean higher taxes on your savings, more limits on deductions, and unexpected changes to your income plan. Maybe you're already retired, or maybe you're just a few years away. Either way, what you don't know could cost you thousands. That's why we're offering Wisconsin residents a free educational guide to help you understand how the new bill may impact retirees and questions to discuss with your trusted financial advisor. Just text the word tax to 414-897-9522. That's tax, T-A-X, to 414-897-9522. You'll get immediate access to expert insights from the team at Drake & Associates, retirement planners who have been serving Wisconsin for over 20 years. We focus on tax-efficient retirement planning, helping you keep more of your money, avoiding surprises, and staying ahead of the curve no matter what Congress throws your way. So before the big beautiful bill takes a bite out of your hard-earned savings, let's make sure your plan is designed to help prepare for uncertainty. Text TAX to 414-897-9522. That's TAX to 414-897-9522. Drake & Associates, helping build retirement confidence right here in Wisconsin.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Vince Vitrano for Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield, and I just got this message from my team there they wanted to share. With the recent flooding in Milwaukee, so many in our community are dealing with unexpected damage to their homes. At Hunt's Flooring, we want our neighbors to know they are not alone. We're here to help. From emergency flooring removals to replacing water-damaged carpet, hardwood, or vinyl, our team is ready to guide homeowners through every step, from cleanup to new installation. Visit Hunt's Flooring on Highway 100 in Greenfield or get started now at huntsflooring.com.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Seriously. 1-0 to Collins. Line to right. Back Castellanos at the track. It is gone. 5 batters in. It's 5-0 Milwaukee.
Tonight, the Crew are deep in the heart of Texas, taking on the Rangers at Globe Life Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:30 on the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
11:01, we have 64 degrees. It's going to be sunny today with a high 71. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. A federal appeals court today upheld a civil jury's decision that requires President Trump to pay more than $83 million to longtime advice columnist E. Jean Carroll.
In rejecting Trump's appeal, the court said it found the damages fair and reasonable. Carroll had sued Trump after he repeatedly attacked her on social media after she accused him of sexually assaulting her in a department store in the 1990s. A separate jury awarded Carroll $5 million in a 2023 sexual assault and defamation case.
That's CBS News reporter Christopher Cruz. The judges also found Trump failed to identify any grounds that would warrant reconsidering the prior holding on presidential immunity. Trump president asking the Supreme Court to allow $4 billion in foreign aid cuts. This comes after a federal judge ruled against the president on the issue last week. The spending had already been approved by Congress. Trump notified Congress he intended not to spend it. President says he wants to help the people of Chicago after 18 more people were shot over the weekend in the city. 5 of the 18 were killed, and it comes after at least 58 were shot over Labor Day weekend. In a post on Truth Social, Trump questioned why Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker doesn't want help from the federal government. Mourning the loss of 2 student athletes at Marquette University.
19-year-old Scott Michaud and 20-year-old Noah Snyder were killed in a car crash Friday near 27th and St. Paul in Milwaukee. Scott's high school coach, Stephen Schroeder, tells our news partner TMJ4.
A great mentor to young kids. He was a great teammate. He was a great brother. He was a great son to his parents.
Caleb Brissett played junior lacrosse with Noah and traveled from Detroit over the weekend.
So I came down just to support my good friend and try and say, my final goodbye, I would say.
Police say the driver of the other vehicle was arrested. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
A Waukesha County judge says Arrowhead High School senior Tristan Seidel can suit up while his lawsuit against the WIAA plays out. The association had ruled him ineligible after transferring from Kettle Moraine. His family says the move was made due to a house fire in 2023. They made their rental home in the Arrowhead School District their permanent residence. Seidel missed the first 2 games but returned Friday night when Arrowhead faced Waukesha West. The ruling was just hours before kickoff. Reviewing signs of struggle during Suicide Prevention Month, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention has dozens of programs to help survivors and loved ones and education for everyone. Executive Vice President Michael Lama tells Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News what general signs to be aware of.
Expressing feelings of hopelessness, of having no reason to live, saying they're a burden. Mood changes. They may display depression, anxiety, loss of interest, irritability, sleeping more than usual, sleeping less than usual, abusing substances.
Lemma says simply starting a conversation with someone you're concerned about can save a life. A beloved Milwaukee tradition is making a comeback in a new format.
Al's Run and Walk will resurrect this weekend, now called Rally Round at the Milwaukee Mile. Kristin with the Children's Wisconsin Foundation tells WTMJ.
There'll be like a game zone. There'll be a family fun zone. There'll be an imagination station where people can do arts and crafts and science opportunities.
Although not a traditional run walk, there will still be a chance to lace up your sneakers.
People that want to walk or run or roll are going to be able to do that on the iconic Milwaukee Mile track.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Rally Round is Saturday from 9 to 4. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow up 36 points. NASDAQ up 157. S&P 500 is up 20. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities.
Well, it's breakfast with the boys, and then bingo is at 3 in the afternoon. I lost that super lady I lived with for 60 years, but have found a home and doing well. The accommodations, the facilities, it's been a pleasure, and I hope to hang around a couple of more years anyhow.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities.
Dinner and a show? Make it a night to remember at the St. Kate Arts Hotel. St. Kate Arts Hotel is right in the heart of Milwaukee's Theater District, and What's on Tap's Sandy Max is diving into everything that they offer, from quick bites before curtain to cocktails after the encore. Pizza, sushi, signature dishes. It's all there at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Whether you're dressed up or keeping it casual, this is your new pre-show spot. Tune into What's on Tap with Sandy Max for all your pre- and post-theater dining needs.
Back to school means back to savings with Exterior Pros and Baths. Right now, get $3,000 off your roofing, your siding, your windows, or your bath project during the fall savings event. Don't wait. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com to claim your $3,000 savings and book your free estimate. Exterior Pros and Baths, Wisconsin's trusted home improvement experts. Trust the pros.
Botox can do more for men than just smooth out wrinkles. It can help reduce chronic migraines, stress-related facial tension, and even excessive sweating. Come out to Brotox and Beers, Saturday, September 13th at Sweet Talks in Menominee Falls. It's an event for men who want to feel better, perform better, and look sharp without the fuss. Watch college football, get treated with Botox in the low-key, no-pressure setting of Sweet Talks, then have a brew when you're done. Spots are limited, so reserve yours now at sweettalks.com. That's SWEETTOX.com.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Packers open their season with the win. Green Bay beat the Detroit Lions 27-13 at Lambeau Field. Packers now 1-0 as they prepare to face the Commanders Thursday at home. Brewers picked up a road sweep. Milwaukee beat the Pittsburgh Pirates 10-2 in their series finale. Brewers continue their road trip tonight against the Texas Rangers. And Wisconsin will play its first road game of the season Saturday against number 18 Alabama after handling Middle Tennessee 42-10 on Saturday. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We have a new crash on the exit to Capitol Drive from I-41 North. There was a crash earlier, I-43 South at the ramp from 9th Mineral Street. The right shoulder there was blocked. It looks like that has been cleared off the roadway. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny and 71 today. Partly cloudy overnight with the lows 54 lakeside, 50 inland. Increasing cloudiness Tuesday, then overnight rain possible, a high 74. Partly cloudy and 75 Wednesday. Sunny on Thursday, 76, and mostly sunny Friday with a high 78. 64 in Madison, Green Bay, and Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
Well, welcome back to the 11 o'clock hour of Point Taken. It is Monday, so it is time to catch up with Dave Spano, CEO of Annex Wealth Management. And I think we have to start with the jobs report. Dave, I'm sorry to start on a low note, but want to get your thoughts right out the gate of what to make of another bad jobs report for August.
Yeah, you know, things were bad. So we saw the downward revisions that came out. In fact, we actually lost jobs in June, down 13,000. The worst jobs report in 4 years. Why? I think we were right on the edge of a recession when we were in it. And I know you and I talked a little bit about that and said, what is the Fed doing standing on their hands at that point? And, maybe they should have been a little bit more aggressive at that point, but it sure looked like of all of what was happening with tariffs and everything else, that people were just not doing anything. So we'll see if that is really going to stick around as we head into the rest of the year. But it was not a great jobs report. It almost guarantees, not quite, but 90% chance that the Fed will lower interest rates next week.
That's going to be a big topic. But when we look at the jobs reports that are not good, and we talk about the sort of the conflict between the Fed and the president on interest rates, is it pretty much an assumption now that we are going to have a cut, and is it just the only question how much?
Yeah. So if you look at the betting odds, they're about 90% chance that we will see a rate cut next week. So about 25 basis points. There is a slight chance, about 10% chance, that there will be a bigger cut, 50 basis points. The more likely scenario, and the Fed has been really pretty good about telegraphing what they're going to do, is a 25 basis point reduction in September, followed by another one of 25 basis points in October. And that's the most likely scenario, and it's balanced, and it's really part of what their mantra has been, is not overreacting. So 25 basis points now, 25 basis points in October. And if that happens, then the market can adjust to it, and you'll start to see things start to follow suit, including mortgage rates.
So, and tell me if I'm wrong, but part of the reason interest rates are so high right now is because of inflation. So we were trying to get prices to come down. And now we're seeing a jobs report that we need interest rates to come down to kind of kick the jobs market in the butt a little bit, but prices are still high. So what is, if we bring it down 25 or 0.25% for the next 2 months, like, is there a worry as far as what that does to the cost of things?
Yeah, so great point. So the Fed has two jobs, right? A dual mandate, and it is controlling prices, which is inflation, and keeping us at full employment if they can, and that's the other part of their mandate. And they fight with that all the time. Mm-hmm. So they're in a conundrum right now that what is more important, and have they shifted their focus away from inflation, well, where it was obviously out of control when it was at 9-10%, to where it is today. Can we live with a 2 to 3% range? The Fed has said and been pretty adamant about the fact that they want to get to their target. Their target is 2%. If it's at 3%, they're in a conundrum of saying, what's more important? Right now, they're saying it's probably more important to start to lower interest rates. And by the way, the bond market is generally the better predictor than the Federal Reserve and the things that they say. And the bond market right now is suggesting that the rates should come down. So you're probably going to see rates come down. Hopefully that helps the job market, helps mortgages, helps consumers. But what does it do to prices? Well, the biggest thing that goes into prices right now really is what's called owner's equivalency, which is it's rent, right? So if rent is starting to come down, that means prices should start to come down. And the second thing is energy. Those are two really big components of the CPI report. That should come down as well. In fact, Goldman Sachs suggested $55 a barrel by 2026. So they are looking ahead at the data and saying perhaps we're going to start to see inflation cool, not spike where it was, and at the same time try to help the job market along.
Yesterday, on several appearances, the Treasury Secretary said the U.S. economy should accelerate by the fourth quarter. Is that wishful thinking? Is that politics? Or is that based on something beyond just hope?
Yeah, so no, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's not a lot of reasons why they have said that. You're talking about Scott Bassett, who said was very public yesterday, and he said it in a lot of reasons. And was he being a political animal? I have to say all along, I think that was the top pick by this administration. I've said that long before it happened, and I still believe that. I think is very thoughtful when whatever he tells the president. Why he says that is because a lot of the things that were uncertain are starting to clear up. We'll have to get to tariffs in a minute, but the big, beautiful bill, whatever they're going to call it now, they want to change the name of it, but that kicks in. That takes time for that to kick in, number one. Number two, Q4, fourth quarter, generally is one of the best quarters of the year as people go out and spend, and that is generally good for the economy. So if you just forget all the politics for the moment, right now, Q4 generally is setting up to be better.
He is Dave Spano, CEO of Annex Wealth Management, annexwealth.com. Great resource. Click on the Get Started button. After the break, Dave teased it. Tariffs. When's that getting to the Supreme Court? What do they do in the interim? We'll discuss that with Dave. After this, On Point Taken on 620 WTMJ.
Tasty. 1-0 to Collins. Line to right. Back Castellanos at the track. It is gone. 5 batters in. It's 5-0 Milwaukee.
Tonight, the Crew are deep in the heart of Texas, taking on the Rangers at Globe Life Field.
Breaking ball got him looking. A curveball ring him up.
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:30. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Kristin Brey from Mission 94 Firearms Education Center in Kenosha. Yes, you heard that correctly. Probably would not come as a surprise for you to hear that I am not a big gun person, but we have guns in our home. So I wanted to finally learn how to safely load and shoot. So I went to Mission 94 with an open mind and ended up having a blast. Mission 94 is a welcoming environment for everyone at any experience level, including me. I just love how they prioritize education and training, and the staff makes you feel super comfortable in their state-of-the-art facility. It's a fantastic atmosphere. Steve's been there.
Yeah, I love the fact that you went there because they are so big on gun safety, and they're telling women, especially women, come here, we'll teach you how to use a gun safely, protect yourself, and I love the fact that you're doing it.
So I'm doing it. It's great. Check it out for yourself. Just Google Mission 94.
Hi, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network. Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's trusted name in home improvement, does more than just top-quality roofing. They're your go-to for maintenance-free siding and energy-efficient windows, too. Ridgetop has expert credentials with leading manufacturers like Pella, James Hardie, and LP Smart Siding. For over 20 years, they've delivered exceptional craftsmanship and service. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Ridgetop Exteriors, where customer service always comes first.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Don't miss Ringo Starr and his all-star band coming to the Miller High Life Theater on Friday, September 12th. The legend has been one of the world's brightest luminaries since the beginning of the Beatles' reign over pop culture. His warmth and humor are enchanting and contagious, manifesting in songs we know and love. Don't miss out on seeing this musical icon live. Tickets are on sale now at papstheatergroup.com or tune in to What's on Tap with Sandy Max on September 10th and 11th for your chance to win.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I'm Kristin Brey. He is Steve Scaffidi, and we are talking to Dave Spano, CEO of Annex Wealth Management. So, update with tariffs. We talked a little bit about this with Brian Jacobson last week, but as far as the lower courts ruling against the tariffs, but now there is a stay on that decision, so nothing's changing now, and it is going to the Supreme Court. What is your interpretation as far as where this goes from here?
So, if the Supreme Court will likely hear it in October.
Okay.
So that means that you probably won't get a decision until December or January. So there probably won't be any changes at the moment. But, Bassett said yesterday that, if they had to turn something around, it would be a lot of money that would have to be returned. However, there are nuances, and the Supreme Court are going to hear that. It's going to get pretty wonky, but Section 232 is sector-specific. So autos, aluminum, steel, copper, that type of thing, that stays in place. And then there's Section 301, which is country-specific, like China. That would stay in place. So would it be the retailers that would get the benefit if they had to return that back? We'll have to see. It's a very small chance that that's going to happen, that they're going to have to turn around. But it's still possible that the tariff money would have to go back to the retailers, for example. And if that happens, what happens to those companies? So it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to get overwhelmed by all of the nuances that are in the tariff law. But right now, Trump clearly can say and use any one of these for national security, and this doesn't matter. He can still do it. The ones that aren't national security, obviously, is apparel. So, and so what happens, especially if it's country specific? So we'll watch that.
You and I talked about this on a webinar months ago, and just so folks, you can lay out for folks what you said at the time when this concept of the president directly implementing tariffs on countries and, you know, scaling up, scaling them back, taking away, pausing, all the things he's done in the months since then. What do you think? What did you think then his intent was, and has that intent worked?
Well, part of it's negotiation, right? And so I think tariffs all along were trying to negotiate to get to a better deal for the United States. I don't think that he dislikes the revenue, right? It's a significant amount of revenue that's coming into the Treasury, which helps all of us. But does it cause inflation? Well, no matter how you cut it, who pays it? It is higher prices. Does the country, for example, do they pay it? Do they eat it? Do they pass it on? Do they pass it all on? That has yet to be determined. And so we don't know exactly what is going to be inflationary, but you have to understand that it is going to put pressure on prices. I've said that all along, but I also said then, and I say today, that he's negotiating. And so you'll see, for example, India. I think India, in countries like that, they will fold because they are too much of a beneficiary of the American consumer.
Dave, one of the conversations or motivators at one point was bringing jobs back to the U.S. I feel like that motivation has been lost. I don't hear about that as much anymore. So is the expectation still that tariffs are going to bring jobs back, or has that kind of been lost in the sauce?
No, well, I hope it hasn't been lost in the sauce, because that would be great if they can. However, what I said, you'll remember several months ago, is you just can't snap your finger and make that happen, right? So let's pick an industry, say the automobile industry. We convinced Germany to bring their manufacturing over here to the United States. Well, that just doesn't happen. You have to get the land, you have to build the plant, you have to retool the plant, you have to get the workers, you have to train the workers, right? That is a long tail process. And so if that happens, and it happens 2 years from now, and why would they do that? Well, energy prices are lower, taxes might be lower, the business environment might be better than what they're getting in Europe, and then they can sell more stuff, whatever their widget is, in this case, a car. They look at that and say, is it better for us to do that? Well, there would be a beneficiary, and that would be the American worker. That isn't, and again, that's not happening in the fourth quarter. So you're not going to see an immediate effect. And in fact, it may not even happen while Trump is president. I mean, that's how long of a tail these things take. But that doesn't mean it wouldn't be, the American worker would not be a beneficiary. I mean, they would be a beneficiary if these jobs come to this country.
So you think it's still a goal? That's still part of baked into the idea of the benefit of tariffs.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's part of his negotiation. If he wants to, as you know, he's more of a nationalist. He wants to bring some of these jobs back. And if some of this stuff comes back to this country and makes Americans have jobs and be more secure, that would be a benefit.
Dave Spano, CEO of Annex Wealth Management, joining us on 620 WTMJ's Point Take. And I know that your team at Annex has spent a lot of time looking at the big, beautiful bill and its impact on taxes and all those implications. Just an overview of when these things kick in, what's the biggest impact you think we're going to feel as people who file taxes and pay taxes?
Well, hopefully it's going to be lower taxes and a better economy. I mean, that's the goal, right? And it goes back to where we started. If people are feeling better and going out and spending things, that's what causes inflation, right? A heated up economy causes inflation. So if you are lowering interest rates because you see some data right now that says the economy is slowing, and then you juice it by lowering interest rates, for example, and then the economy starts to heat up again, you could put pressure on prices, and that's where we started. The conundrum that the Fed is in, and not that I feel sorry for them, but they are in a tough spot. And not only because the job that they have to do, it's in the environment that they have to do it. All of this information that's going to come out between Cook and the rest, and Powell and the rest of these Fed governors, they're going to be under pressure. But we want an economy that does better. The American worker wants the economy that does better. When the economy does better, there's jobs. Lower interest rates mean lower borrowing costs. They mean housing affordability, means a better job market. It means a better stock market where 60% of Americans are invested in it. Those are all great things if we have a good economy and lower interest rates.
Dave Spano, always enjoy the conversation. Great resource, annexwealth.com. There's so many things you can get there, and the instant insights that we do now alongside Dave and his team, Brian Jacobson and others. Fascinating insight on real-time, real-life information when it comes to your finances. Click the Get Started button. I did that years ago now, and it's one of the best decisions I made. Dave Spano, always appreciate your time.
All right, Steve and Kristin, have a good day. See ya.
All right, quick break here as we wrap the first half hour of the 11 o'clock hour. I'm going to talk about YouTube.
Oh.
YouTube. Why am I going to talk about that? I'll tell you after the break.
Oh, boy, it's getting so expensive to dine out, but not at the Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The Mind Chef is family-owned, understands inflation hurts. Every Monday when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza absolutely free. Any size, any quantity, you buy one, get one free. Buy two, get two free. Buy 10 pizzas, get 10 free pizzas. Business owners, managers, bring in pizza for your hardworking employees and your key clients. They're going to love it because it's delicious pizza, and your second pizza's free, saving your company a ton of money. Bring your family in today for free pizza. Your kids will love that world-class game room. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and near EAA and Oshkosh, just off the interstate. Lots of seating, lots of close parking. No need to cook. Don't think about cleaning today. Mondays can be tough enough. Buy one pizza, get one free at the Mine Shaft. Plenty to take home for tomorrow. Desserts, and I love their desserts, are also buy one, get one free. Just walk in today for your free Monday pizza, mineshaftRestaurant.com.
The Census Bureau says more than 12,000 Americans turn 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. Some Annex clients retire early. Some keep working because they love it. You know why? Because they've got custom plans built by fee-only fiduciaries. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work. We want to do the same for you. Annex does financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Hey, it's your friend John McGivern. In a world full of chaos, I'm grateful for a health plan that has my back. Network Health is so reliable and trustworthy, they always put me and over 126,000 members first. It's just what they do and what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Comfort Awnings. I reclaim my outdoor space by having Comfort Awnings install a motorized retractable awning so I can enjoy the sun and get relief when I need it. Sensors are also available that detect strong winds and rain to extend or retract your awning. They even protect against UV radiation so you can safely enjoy the outdoors. Family owned and located in Burlington, Comfort Awnings expertly installs custom awnings that fit your home and style. Right now, you can receive $250 off all awnings and screens. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Dimension Design Build Remodel and Capital Heating and Cooling. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
All right, tell me your thoughts on YouTube, Steve.
All right, so I realized something last week, and you noticed this when I posted about an easy way to find my Scaffidi podcast. I realized because I would run into people that I know very well who listen to the show, and they'd go, "You have a podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah,
I have multiple podcasts."
Yeah, if we get back into the cheap seats, which is supposed to happen pretty soon, I have 5
cheap
podcasts.
Shots.
No, cheap seats.
Oh, cheap seats?
What's cheap shots? Cheap shot is when you go after somebody unfairly, right?
Oh.
Yeah, cheap seats.
Cheap seats. Okay.
It's actually the cheap seats, but we also found out there's like 8 billion of them, so we added our name to it. So I said, I'm going to do some hand-holding here. So we talked earlier about the podcast. Listen, Point, Steve, if you want to get Scaffidi, I got some great subjects there. I'm going to stack about 6 episodes. I'm going to be gone for some time in October. I think.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm be traveling. But I thought, okay, people always say, how can we watch you? Okay, so almost everyone has a smart TV, right? I'm talking to my age group primarily because I know you got smart TVs. They're not necessarily making you smarter. I hope they are, but
But you got apps on your TV where you go from Apple to Netflix.
You can
to
pick because you have those things, right? You got the Hulus.
And the YouTube should be on there.
It's on there. So you go to YouTube, that app, and you just put Point Taken in the search bar, and it takes you right to our podcast. I'm looking at it right now. You get a live studio feed. You look fantastic. I look okay for an old guy. You see the beautiful annex thing behind us. We look good. We got little graphics on there. But then you can listen and watch the show. It's like watching a TV program. Because really, for you, you're younger. The next step is some sort of big-time TV show on MSNBC or something.
I don't know if that's true.
No? No? Oh, whatever. But
whatever.
So I think there's magic to be had here. So if you need your hand hold, I'm not going to give you my cell number so you can call me and I walk you through it. But go to your smart.
They can also just text watch.
True.
To 855-616-1620.
Yeah, on your phone.
That'll give you the link to your phone. But also, yes, if you go to on your TV, if you want to watch it on your TV, I wonder if you put Point Taken in the search bar. Yeah, it probably does come to us, but it's the 620 WTMJ channel on YouTube that has everything. That has all the shows, all the live streams.
I mean, they used to say for older people, the internet's scary. Well, it's super easy now to find anything. I mean, I use Google if I'm putting something together or to fix something.
Well, Bill still doesn't know what AI tool he uses when he's AIing something.
Oh, that Bill. God bless him. So don't use that as an excuse. You can find it, and then you'll enjoy it even more than you do now. So you can find our podcast, you can find our show podcast, our You Need to Listen. And somebody said to me Saturday, you had James Patterson on your podcast? Yes, I had famous writer James Patterson. I've had...
Who's the most famous person that you've had on this podcast?
It might be him, because he sold a lot of books.
No, didn't you talk to Jake Tapper?
No, not yet.
Oh, I thought you had.
On my list, ABC News is next. Coming up.
ABC News, I'm Mike Tavusky. 6 people are dead in Jerusalem after a shooting at a bus stop there. The 2 attackers were killed, and 1 additional person is in police custody. President Trump not backing down from his threat to deploy the National Guard to Chicago, recently citing the city's violent Labor Day weekend as a reason to send in the troops. ABC's Selena Wang.
Over the weekend, Trump sharing a manipulated image of himself with a twist on a quote from the movie Apocalypse Now. The caption says, "I love the smell of deportations in the morning," and the line, "Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War." Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson firing back, saying Trump wants to occupy our city and break our Constitution.
Boston also seeing an increase in federal troops in recent days. Jury selection today in the trial of Ryan Ruth, the man accused of attempting to assassinate President Trump in the run-up to the election last year. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Connie Weber. 1 person dead, 2 others hurt after a crash between a motorcycle and a pickup truck in Oshkosh. Police responded Sunday around 6:30 p.m. to the intersection of High Avenue and Wisconsin Street. The 27-year-old cyclist from Appleton died at the scene. 2 people in the pickup truck went to the hospital. The intersection was closed for about 4 hours. The crash still under investigation. A multi-county chase ends with a man from Green Bay being tased and arrested. A Fond du Lac County Sheriff's deputy tried to stop a speeding car near County Highway Y in the township of Oakfield Sunday afternoon. Chase continued into Dodge County, then back into Fond du Lac County for over 14 miles. Deputies eventually were able to stop the vehicle using stop sticks and a pit maneuver. The 35-year-old suspect was tased when he refused to comply with deputies' commands. He's in custody on charges of fleeing law enforcement, bail jumping, and various traffic violations. Milwaukee area's only surfboard shop is closing its doors. The Lake Effect Surf Shop in Shorewood is transitioning to online-only sales. The business has sold surfing and skateboarding gear for nearly a decade. Its brick-and-mortar store will stay open during regular hours through the end of September. Time for some news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up a point, 45,402. NASDAQ up 120 at 21,820. S&P 500 is up 12 points at 6,493. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. That crash on the exit to Capitol Drive from I-41 North has been cleared off. No other major delays this hour. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny and 71 today. Partly cloudy overnight with lows 54 lakeside, 50 inland. Increasing cloudiness tomorrow. Maybe some overnight rain with a high 74. Partly cloudy and 75 Wednesday. Sunshine Thursday and Friday. Thursday's high 76. Friday up to 78. 64 in Madison, Green Bay, and in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:33.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Geis's huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at geisdoors.com. Geis has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, you call Geis at 262-784-4250. That number again, 262-784-4250. It's Geis. Visit them online at geisdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
You've probably been hearing a lot of buzz about tariffs.
I haven't.
Really?
What's a tariff?
It's a tax on imported goods.
It makes these imported goods more expensive.
Oh, that explains why I've never heard of tariffs.
Why?
Because 92.3% of the furniture at Penny Mustard is made in the USA.
True.
In fact, most of it is built by local craftsmen and women right here in the Midwest.
And locally sourced furniture will never have a tariff on it.
So when you invest in new furniture at Penny Mustard, you won't be paying extra taxes and shipping costs.
Besides, tariffs or no tariffs, our American-made Penny Mustard Strong furniture will last generations longer than IFE-made furniture shipped in from overseas.
You get so much more for your money when you buy American.
Tell me more about these tariffs.
Can we talk about this later? I'm so tired of hearing about them.
Oh, so I guess you can say that all this talk about tariffs is taxing.
I see what you did there.
PennyMustard.com.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Oh, you're excited about this one.
No, I just there's some what's the word? Artistry when you're a producer and you were talking about Chicago and you in the bumper you're playing Chicago. I like that.
Oh,
and Jazz did a wonderful job. That's why I was giving her the points. I love that.
Yeah.
And I love the song. I mean, the sound of Chicago. Chicago's a great city, by the way.
It is a great city.
Both of my daughters and their husbands and their families live outside of Chicago, but they work in Chicago. And I worked there I don't know if you know that, I worked in Chicago for about 4 years.
But before or after San Francisco?
After, yeah.
Okay.
Right after. Crystal Lake.
Were you living down there? Or were you commuting from Oak Creek?
No, I lived in Gurnee and Crystal Lake. So
Got it.
west
Okay.
and then north.
Got it.
It wasn't a bad commute because my hours weren't like rigid. I could, flex. So, but I love the city. I mean, their sports team sucks, which I appreciate. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But somebody asked me at the game, we had a little assemblage of people yesterday at halftime, some friends that were also at the game. We kind of gather. We're all sitting in different places. We all gather and talk about stuff. And one of the things that came up
Before, during, or after the game?
halftime. Yeah.
Halftime's not that long. How deep can you get into the conversation?
Well, because they know what I do. And I hadn't seen one of the people. And so the question of like what we talk about, I said, I'm more interested in what I'm going to talk about next, not what I already talked about. And this story, to me, is something that is going to occupy a lot of the attention in the news space in the weeks and months ahead. And that is the threats, because it's already happening it happened in Los Angeles, it's happening in D.C. We have National Guard troops on the ground, sort of as the president would say, an assist to local law enforcement. But the threat of Chicago, which is, 80 miles south of us, 85 miles south, of having two things, ICE raids, which is really probably likely going to happen, or National Guard troops on the streets of Chicago is something the president has talked about as recent as today. He's waiting to be asked on the National Guard side of things. He's not going to wait to be asked on the ICE side. They're going to do that.
But I don't think he's going to be waiting for a while. If he's waiting for J.B. Pritzker to ask him to send in national troops.
That's what he said today. That's not going to happen. So the president probably should figure out something else if that's his course of action. But I think this story is one of those moments in our country. It's one of those benchmarks. Like, it's one of those markers that says, okay, what happens if that happens? And the reaction, I can tell you in Chicago, it's not going to be good. As much as people complain about crime in Chicago, I just heard this yesterday. Murder's down 30%. Crime is down generally, I think 15% year to year. Now, there are problems, and because of the size of that city, still a top 5 city in the country, there were, a couple weeks ago, 7 murders in one weekend, 54 shootings. So that's a violent city.
But as a percentage
Of
per
course.
capita,
Yeah.
it's actually not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even. I don't even think it breaks the top 10 when you talk about per capita.
Yeah, and as I often answer that, and I'm not trying to be flippant, tell that to the families of the people who got killed or shot.
Oh no, I know, but I'm just saying sometimes the media matters, right?
Yes.
The story that gets told about places, especially when you're not living in a place and experiencing it firsthand, is that there are other cities that are also violent that you don't necessarily think of as violent cities because they don't get the same media attention as a Chicago. So it's just putting things in context as far as Chicago is definitely not the most dangerous city in the country.
And to be completely honest, the president is sort of picking and choosing the ones where he can make a political case and not necessarily going
Although
after
he's talking about going to New Orleans, which is the first city. I mean, it's a blue city in a red state, which is one of the first cities that has been offered as a potential, because mostly it's been in blue cities in blue states.
Yeah, if I remember right, Governor Bobby Jindal, right, in Louisiana, is that right? I think so. That's sort of a dynamic to watch as well. But here's the tension point to me is what happens when the citizens interact with National Guard, ICE raids, those agents, and how that plays out. We have all kinds of historic examples where that didn't work out well. Most famous, of course, Kent State, much written about, sung about. That's sort of the nightmare scenario here, because that's where this thing escalates out of control, and you can lose the narrative and lose the storyline pretty quickly if we have violence, if we have deaths, when we have citizens on both sides, because National Guard members are citizens, interacting in a violent way or the opposite, because it's two sides, and there's tragedy results. Escalation of chaos in cities that when you're trying to quiet something, all of a sudden you have an explosion of violence based on the fact that those people are actually just coming into your city. It's something that I'm going to watch carefully over the next weeks and months ahead, because I think the risk is big. Where the president gets a lot of praise is on, and I have friends who say this to me all the time. He's getting the people that shouldn't be here out of the country. That's the common refrain I hear every day when we talk about it. Hey, he's getting them out. They shouldn't be here.
But he's also not making it easier for the people who are trying to do it legally to do it legally.
And all signs pointing to making it harder.
Including, which I read this morning, and this is the point, because that's usually the refrain you get from people of, well, why can't they just do it legally? Why don't they get in line? Why don't they do it the right way? And so if that is the case, if there is an acknowledgement, I think most economists would agree that there is valuable contributions that no matter what their legal status, immigrants make to this country, but certainly people who are trying to do it legally, trying to get their citizenship here on visas. But I read this in Axios this morning that Trump's team is planning to make the citizenship test harder.
An essay.
And more, which gives them more leeway to reject applicants. So at this point, we're also trying to make it, I mean, if you take this at face value, trying to make it harder even for the people who are trying to do it legally.
It's a great point, because if your argument is they got to do it legally, you can't throw roadblocks in their way and say this is how you got to do it, and it's almost impossible to do it, because that's not satisfactory. And
especially a test that a lot of Americans can't pass.
Yes, that's another salient point there. Yeah. Take the test and write the essay, and let's see how you do, because I can guarantee you most people would fail that, because I talk to people all the time, and they're missing a lot of important information about not only their federal government, their state government, who represents them in Madison, even in Milwaukee. So we all got to pay attention more. This is one of those stories to watch, and how this all comes together. Whether the president is brave enough, I'm not using it in a complimentary way, to send National Guard troops when the governor explicitly said, and he has over the weekend, we don't want them there. And he doesn't have any constitutional right to do that. If he would try to violate that, doing some end run around that with ICE, which he does have some powers, that's the story to watch. And all eyes on Chicago. Baltimore's another city he mentioned, and others. So story to watch, as they say in the news business. What's that term they always use about something coming up? Later on, we'll find out what happens in Chicago. That's sort of the rest of the story, but it hasn't happened yet. So not a good analogy with the Paul Harvey there. But I loved Paul Harvey. If you're a radio person, you had to love Paul Harvey. All right.
All right, we finally talked about Packers?
Yes, we're going to talk about some Packers, and both good and what drove me nuts yesterday. You probably know where that's going after this on Point Taken.
Bank 5-9 has a mission to make lives better. They make it a priority to give back to their customers, communities, and their employees. In fact, Bank 5-9 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 16 years in a row. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 5-9? Visit bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve from Milwaukee Weight Loss. Yes, I saw my friend Karen yesterday. She goes, you have kept the weight off. I go, okay, you didn't have much faith in me, did you? But yes, I did. Still at 40, I think 42 today. I'm going back in the reduction phase, losing 10 more pounds before the end of the year. I can do it. You can do it. That's the magic. Milwaukee Weight Loss helped me do all that. You don't have to do the shots, don't have to do the drugs, don't have to do the meals, bar shakes, all that stuff. If you're frustrated with those things, maybe you hit a plateau, maybe you're doing the yo-yo stuff, go to Milwaukee Weight Loss. Ask them the questions I asked. How does this work? Can I do it with my own willpower, whatever that is? You can do it if I can do it, certainly. They helped me lose the weights. We did it in a couple months. Most people can lose weight, 10 to 20% of their body weight in 8 weeks. I did that. 20 to 30 pounds average, just a month or two. You want to stop the yo-yo stuff. You want to stop the gimmicky stuff. Smarter, faster, safer way to lose weight. Doctor-developed, natural. MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Here's the number, 262-393-2334. That's 262-393-2334, MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-511-5493. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-511-5493. That's 800-511-5493. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You've heard about Tri-County Contracting and their worry-free roof tune-up. You've heard about their instant roof quote. But don't forget, Tri-County Contracting also handles windows. Our project at my home moving right along right now, and the process has been so easy and thorough. It's nice when you can trust the team you're working with and know that they are looking out for you. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and also windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Goodyear, Dunlop, Kelly, Continental, General, you name it, we got it.
Plus, free flat tire repair, free tire rotations, and more.
So when you're due for tire service, schedule it at richlawns.com.
That's Rich Lawns with 2 N's.
Rich Lawns. Might as well face it, you're addicted to love.
I'm addicted to the Packers. What I'm addicted to. What a great day.
What a great day.
Glorious day.
We went to the Summerfest Grounds Family Fun Day that they do, I think, once a month. It was the last one of the season, and it was a beautiful day out. So we're at the Summerfest Grounds at the Northwestern Mutual Playground, which is arguably one of the best playgrounds in the city. And I think every other person was wearing Packer gear, including me, including Frankie. I think our friends who we met there also all wearing Packer gear. So it was very fun to just be at an event that had nothing to do with the game and see how many people showed up still wearing, like ready for 3 o'clock.
I said this on the pregame on ESPN 94.5. I do the Packers game day program with Gabe Neitzel and Alex Strofe, and at least the first hour and a half. And I said, there's so much optimism and excitement about this team, and it's very reminiscent of, you can go back 10 years, 20 years, the Reggie White thing. And then to see that play out in the way that it did yesterday, I said to Alex this morning, Alex Strofe, it was like the most relaxed I've been at a game
It was pretty dominant the entire game.
Yeah.
It was pretty. It was like, yeah, as far as being relaxed, you're like, oh, I've done. There was not a nervous moment.
You could sit back
going into the second half,
and that doesn't happen with this team, at least for the last few years. And to beat a team that's just been whooping us for last 3 years, especially at Lambeau, was.
What did you think of the reffing? Do you think there was questionable calls?
I thought they throw the flags too much to my like. Every punt or kick return has a flag now. Stop. Keep it in your pants. Jesus. I know it's a weird way to use that term, but it's just too many flags. Now, I'm going to take this in a negative way.
I know. But you're not the only one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are upset about this.
I should not go to a home opener at Lambeau Field and be greeted by a crowd that's 40 to 50% the opponent's colors. And that's what happened yesterday. And I
thought you guys were overblowing it a little bit, and then I saw some pictures from today of the crowd. I was like, oh, that is a lot of blue.
And I'll be harsh. I am disgusted by Packers season ticket holders who sell their tickets to opposing teams' fans. I sell games occasionally, but I sell them to Packers fans.
So how do you know they're Packers fans?
Because I know who they are.
Okay, so you're selling it to people. It's not like you're going on StubHub or just selling it to strangers.
I don't play that game
for the highest price. You're selling it to people who you know who would like to go to the game.
And I will remind season ticket holders, recently the Packers, using their rights as the organization, took back the tickets for people who sold all their games. Trust me on this one. They are looking at people who sell their tickets to people who are not in the state of Wisconsin. I know it's not absolute. You can't tell where necessarily a person is a fan because of where they live. But if we got a lot of ticket requests coming from Michigan, pretty good chance they're Lions fans. And they're going to crack down on that at some point.
So can I tell you a personal story or family story? So our family, season ticket holders, very lucky. It's been my mom's name for basically since my grandmother died in the 90s. And because my parents have really no interest in going to the game anymore, because where our tickets are, it's a lot of steps. They're very comfortable watching the game in their living room. So they've kind of accepted that, they're not going to go to any more games. But when they introduced that rule, what was going to be passed down in the will was now accelerated because they didn't want to lose the tickets because they're selling all of them because they don't go anymore. So as the sibling who lives in Wisconsin, I got the tickets, which Mike then said, he's like, this is why I married you. So happy to see that this happened faster than we thought it would.
Good job, Mike.
And so, because my brother doesn't live in Wisconsin, but the agreement was still that we'd switch off year on picking who gets first pick for the tickets. So he's dating someone who is a Lions fan. So he wanted to go to the first game. So I sent him the tickets. Well, it turns out he couldn't go to the first game. So he was one of those people who did sell the tickets. And I'm unclear on who he sold it to, but knowing him, I don't think he cared who they were cheering for. So all day yesterday, Mike and I were just sending him. We sent him your tweet complaining about this. We sent him the video of Matt LaFleur complaining about it. I was like, Steve and Matt are mad at you, Ben.
Yeah, the coach correctly identified the problem. It's the home opener, people.
Yeah.
That should be almost all Packers fans. And if you can't go, if you're too busy to show up for the home opener against a hated rival right across the
lake.
If
you're Packers, if you're season ticket holders, Packers fans, right? Sell them to your friends.
Yeah. What's the problem here? And I'm disgusted by you. But you can redeem yourself. Start going to games again. And stop being a pain in the you-know-what when it comes to loading up our stadium with opposing teams' fans.
So is this a scenario where you don't believe in the free market?
I don't know. Because, whether that's a free market or not, I think is open to debate. Because there's a lot going on in those ticket exchanges. And frankly, there's too many of them. And here's the thing. Again, I'll reiterate what I just said.
So here's a question. If you sell them in the app, sorry to cut you off, just for clarification, because I've never done it. I've only transferred the tickets in the Packers app. Because, right, you don't have paper tickets anymore. It all has to be transferred through there.
Right.
If you post them to sell in the app, is it only going to other Packers fans who have that app, or is it going to all the different marketplaces?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer, so I'm not going to make one up. But look, hang on to your tickets or sell them to Packers fans. There's no reason. Even if you think you should be able to sell your tickets whenever you want to, which is not the rule anymore because they will take them away if you sell all of them, do the right thing here. Why would you want the stadium to be full of the other team's fans? That's not even being a good fan. And if you're a season ticket holder, aren't you by definition supposed to be a good fan? I would think so. Use your brain matter. Stop selling tickets to the opposing team. That's my rant of the day. We got to take a break.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
I believe in aliens, ghosts, and UFOs, but I don't believe you.
Huh?
I'm convinced the Earth is flat and the moon landing was faked.
Okay.
But when you say Hasselus Mattress don't have no employees, well, that's just crazy talk.
It's true. Hasselus Mattress showrooms are employee-free. Give our mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
Okay, sure. You probably think birds are real, too.
All I know is that our 35 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393. Free next-day delivery, too.
Do these mattresses come from Area 51?
We're talking big names like Sealy Posturepedic and Beautyrest.
And who's supporting your operation? The Illuminati?
If you need support, through Monday, get a free adjustable base with any new mattress.
That's what the lizard people told you to say.
Save on Beautyrest, Sealy Posturepedic, and more. And get a free adjustable base through Monday at Hasselus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at hasselus.com.
I've always believed that great service makes all the difference. At Waterstone Bank, it's more than just banking. It's personal. When I needed help choosing an account, my banker took the time to understand my needs and guided me through my options. Thanks to her advice, I can watch my money grow, knowing it's secure.
Welcome to your Waterstone Bank, where community and personal service come together. Member FDIC.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. Get your aches and pains under control and bring back your energy. Whether it's headaches, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, time and repetition is key to staying on the right track. I've been seeing Dr. Alex and his team for 2 years now. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. Connect Chiropractic uses a special tool that is targeted and effective, yet pain-free and gentle. In Delafield and Wauwatosa, and the new location on Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek. Get started at GoConnectChiro.com.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back September 9th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Texas Rangers.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in September 9th at 7:05 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a good karma brand station.
Texter was saying they can't track it. They can track wherever that ticket goes, the digital ticket. They have a not a footprint, but a digital footprint of where it goes. Email, Ticketmaster, wherever. They know who the final user is. They know the transactions. They see all of that.
They know if they're what team they're fans of.
No, they don't know that.
They know the person.
Yeah, they know where it goes. And again, if you have, let's say, 50% of the sales, not 50, 25% of the sales go to Michigan. What do you think the odds those are Packers fans? Probably very slight, right? Especially for a divisional game.
Well, what if it's people in Wisconsin who happen to be Lions fans?
There's no perfect answer here, but I'm telling people, they questioned me when I said this years ago about that they're going to yank tickets if you sell them all. They did that.
There's a lot of people in the text line who don't agree with you.
Yeah, I don't care.
A lot of people talking about just get that money.
What
get
I'm
that
pissed
bag,
about is you keep selling your tickets to other teams' fans. Stop doing that. That's not being a good fan. I know you want to pay for your Christmas or your vacations with your Packer tickets. We're not here to be your savings account. Use them for Packers fans. Sell them to Packers fans. Be a good fan. That's my message of the day. I don't care if it's harsh. I'm saying it.
All right. What do you have tomorrow on my day off?
We have Mary Kuhn mentioned Jim Sansell. All the fun.
Heartbreak.
There's so many legal. We could spend 6 hours talking about all the legalities of the.
Yeah. Are you going to talk about the Supreme Court's most recent decision to the lower court order? I just read this. So basically, the Supreme Court just decided that they can detain people based on ethnicity, language, occupation.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that.
That's a little terrifying.
Yeah. Enjoy your time off.
Okay, I will.
Separate from the news for a few days. She's Kristin. I'm Steve. Point taken. News is next.
Every year, more than 350,000 cardiac arrests in the United States happen outside of a hospital. And of those, 9 out of 10 people will die because they didn't receive the life-saving care they needed in time. Bystander CPR can literally make the difference between